Hello everybody, and welcome to March Mystery Madness. I'm one of the co-hosts. The two people who originated March Mystery Madness are Elizabeth from LizziefayeLovesBooks and Troi Towel. So I am so excited because I have so many books. My TBR is bursting at the seams, but I'm not going to do that to you. I was going to, and then I said, oh, this is so much. Why do I love mysteries? I'm not even going to go into that. When I first started my channel, almost 4 years ago, I started looking for people who read mysteries. And what I found, beside Jenn, who's a big part of March Mystery Madness, and you'll see later, was a community of people who loved all kinds of books. And it expanded my horizons, though I did read other books beside mysteries, but I never thought that I would be the reader that I am today. But back to mysteries. And this is a readathon, and this is the 9th year of this readathon. And we have a bingo card. So I thought to calm myself down a little bit, I would stick to the bingo card as much as possible because I plan to do a lot of videos this month and I have tons of books. So let me say that the theme for this year's March Mystery Madness Readathon is to the nines, because this is the 9th year that this readathon has gone on. Can you just believe it? 9 years of mysteries and mystery lovers. And I've loved mysteries all my life, but there's always more to explore. And if you're interested in different types of mysteries, believe me, one of the co-hosts that I'll have down below will be perfect for your type of mystery. So let me go through the bingo board, and the first one is Dressed to the Nines. And if you noticed when we did our announcement videos, all the hosts were dressed up. So the first one is to find formal wear on the cover. And I didn't realize that I had bought a book but didn't read it. Don't know if I'm going to read it this time, but I wanted to show it to you because it is my book, and it's Patricia Wentworth, who writes suspense mysteries, romantic suspense mysteries, if that's your thing. And this one is called The Chinese Shawl, a Miss Silver mystery. Now, Miss Silver, if you don't know her, she's a wonderful character. She's a spinster who solves murders. What could be better than that, right? And she's a wonderful character, and you will want to read her. And in this, The Chinese Shawl, there is formal wear on the cover. And it just says that Tanis Lyle was one of those passionate women who always get their own way. Her cousin Laura hated her. Most women did. But men found her irresistible, and she used them mercilessly. Wonder what will happen to her. I did hear that this wasn't one of Patricia Wentworth's favorite, wasn't one of their favorite books, that people who read Patricia Wentworth's Miss Silver. But I was watching Lil of Lil's Vintage World, and she made me buy another one, which is The Poison Pen, and I'll show that to you another time when it comes. But I might read this. So anyway, it is Dressed to the Nines. The second one is 999, which I know is the emergency number. We have 911, and in British, they have 999. I love British mysteries. My favorite mystery writer happens to be British, Ruth Rendell. Sorry. Hello. And I have been reading Ruth Rendell for many, many years, but I haven't finished all of her Lieutenant Wexfield? Inspector Wexfield. But I love Ruth Rendell because her and P.D. James started the why done it more than the who done it. And so it's she writes psychological mysteries. And the second, I wanted to show you one of her mysteries because it's one that I read a while back, and it will be here, and it's called Shake Hands Forever. It's a really good one. So Angela Hathel was deeply in love with her husband and far too paranoid to invite an unknown person into their home. So who managed to gain entry and strangle her without a struggle? So why did I want to put that as a reread? Not only the wonderful cover, I mean, how can a pair of latex living gloves be scary? But it was scary to me. But it's the 9th in the series, and that's why I put that here. So that satisfies another one of the prompts. The next one I don't have, which is 9 Lives, Cats on the Cover, though I have read a few mysteries, but I just don't have that right now, or First Responder of any kind. The next one is a book that reminds me of Janelle. Now, Janelle was the queen of booktube mysteries, and she sadly passed away last year, and we're doing this part of the bingo card to show our appreciation and love for Janelle, who was friends of many of us, who was my friend. We did buddy reads together, and I found her channel because I wanted to get mystery recommendations. But this time, instead of saying a book that reminds me of Janelle, which is something that I usually go to, psychological mysteries. She liked mostly golden mysteries. She liked a lot of different kind of books. But I found on a channel, Tia from Genres and Journals, I think her name, or Journals and Genres. And she gave me a cozy mystery. And Janelle loved amateur sleuths as long as they didn't break the law. So this one is called, and I found this recommendation on Tia's channel, and it's called the Marlboro Book Club Murder Mystery. And I'll have that here, the cover. So what it says is, Judith Potts is 77 years old and blissfully happy. She lives on her own in a faded mansion just outside Marlboro. There's no man in her life to tell her what to do or how much whiskey to drink. And to keep herself busy, she sets crosswords for the Times newspaper. And one evening when out swimming in the Thames, she witnesses a brutal murder. And that's all I'll say about it, because I don't know very much about it. And I'm actually reading it as an audiobook, and so far it's really delightful. So that's my first book that reminds me of Janelle, because as Tia said, she put it on her I think it was 2022 favorites. So and I think this is a series, so I want to read the first one, and I'm enjoying it on audio. But another thing that Janelle loved was the Golden Age mysteries. And I don't have a Golden Age mystery from Britain on my TBR yet, but I plan, like Agatha Christie. She loved Agatha Christie. So I plan to add that as the month goes on. The next one was 9 Patch, book with a quilt on the cover, and I couldn't find that, or 9 on the cover or in the title. I couldn't find that, though I do have a lot of 9s in words that I'm going to talk about at another time. The 9th book in a series I've already talked about, and I haven't gone into page count and year published yet. So that's the bingo card, and if you want to look at that, I'll have that also down in the description for you to look at, or you can see anyone's announcement video who has that or who tells you about that. So that ends the bingo card, but it doesn't end all the books that I want to tell you about, but I'm going to tell you about them pretty quickly because I don't want this video to be too long. So what am I excited to read? I'm going to read with a subscriber. I'm going to buddy read with a subscriber. His name is Nathan, and he's a wonderful subscriber to many booktube channels, and he loves Patricia Highsmith. Now, I'm a little bit wary of this book, but it's called A Dog's Ransom, and it'll be here, and it's been out of print for a long time. So it's exciting that it's back in print. And Highsmith blends a savage humor with brilliant social satire in this dark tale of a high-minded criminal who hits a wealthy Manhattan couple where it hurts the most when he kidnaps their beloved poodle. So I heard the first part of the book was a delight. The second part is dark. So I'll see if I can get through this one. But I wanted to talk to you about about a set of books that Nathan and I might read, and talk to you a little bit about George Simeon, who I just discovered this year. He was born in Belgium, and he wrote in French about Paris and mysteries. I heard you might hate him, you might love him. His books are very slow, and they're character driven. And someone said that in every book, a character is asking himself, who am I and what am I doing with my life? There's also a lot of sexy stuff. Well, there's women in the book. And since these were written between the 30s and the 40s, there's going to be some problematic stuff in it. But if that appeals to you, then you might really love the Maigret novels. And I'm so glad that I by accident, discovered it at a library sale. So we might read And Be a Villain. And that's number 13. And this, the cover will be here. And this is the first of 3 Nero Wolfe books that involve crime syndicate leader Arnold Zack and his widespread operations. And I heard he's sort of like Moriarty of Shakespeare. So that's really good. And we're also, and I think I'm already reading it. I'm reading so many mysteries already. And this is Maigret and the Madwoman. And I'll have that here, where he regrets his folly in dismissing an old lady whom he had taken to be mad because of her claims she was about to be murdered, only for her to be killed shortly afterwards. And these are said to be some of his best books. So that's some of the Maigret books that I tend to that I'm going to read. There's also a book I found called The Lovely Ladies by Nicolas Freeling, and this is a translated Dutch book, and I found it on someone's TBR. So an elderly man was killed in the marketplace in Amsterdam just as Inspector Van de Valk was going past. It was assumed at first that he'd been run over but Van de Valk found the handle of an antique dagger emerging from the man's old-fashioned waistcoat and said to the crowd, "This is a death by violence. You may have witnessed an assassination." So The Lovely Ladies is something that is a book that I don't usually read, which is translated. George Simeon, but that's new to me, is translated in French, and this is translated in Dutch. So this is a possibility of what I might read. And I just realized I have a copy of Maigret and the Madwoman, so it might not be there, but I I got this from the library, and it's a really cool cover too. So what else do I have? Now I want to talk to you about a Golden Age mystery, but it's not in England, it's in New York City. And I found these books at the library, but that I just wanted to show you. I'm not necessarily going to read these. And the author is Rex Stout, and his detective is Nero Wolfe. He's a wonderful detective, and his sidekick Archie Goodwin. So I have these two books just to show you. And as you can see, Nero Wolfe doesn't get up very much except to eat, and he has his private elevator to do that. And he goes up to the rooftop in his Manhattan penthouse, and he has orchids. He loves orchids. And this is a delightful series in so many ways. And this one is Fer-De-Lance and the League of Frightened Men. And Fer-De-Lance is a book where Nero Wolfe is going to have a viper be sent to him. So that sounds interesting. And it says that if you've never read Rex Stout, a grandmaster of the American mystery, this is the place to start. So if that appeals to you. And one thing I wanted to tell you about the series, and in the introduction, which is not a spoiler, it says that series are seldom read in order. By the time the average reader discovers a continuing character, the chronicle is usually well advanced, except in those, he says, the dreary series where they're numbered. But one thing about Nero Wolfe's books, Rex Stout's books, he avoids the situation through the expedient of never changing his characters. So the Nero Wolfe and Archie Goodwin of A Family Affair, the 46th and last book in the epic of the West 35th Street, are essentially the same thought and action team we meet for the first time in Fer-De-Lance, and therein lies the secret magic. There are slight differences in the dress of the people and maybe how graphic he's going to get. Not that it's graphic at all, but I love the Nero Wolfe series, and I plan to read some this month and tell you about them. I also wanted to tell you about two Ruth Rendell books that I have on my TBR. They're also Wexford series, and this one is called The Veiled One. And what it says is, Chief Inspector Wexford returns, and just in time to set off a terrorist bomb. The blast destroys half of his house, but life will go on in suburban Kings Markham, and so does murder. An ordinary housewife is killed by an extraordinary means, her body found in the underground parking garage of a shopping mall. And and this is a picture of Ruth Rendell. She was a genius in my view. And as her books got to the end of the Wexford series, she got more politically inclined, and her latest inspector, of course it's not latest, this was published, let me see, probably in the 70s, but no, it's 1995, so I'm wrong. And I looked up how to say this. It's Simisola. And let me just show it to you. It's a pretty simple cover, but it sounds really interesting. It's a gripping mystery, an emotionally charged exploration, racism, sexual violence, and the urban ills that are affecting small, traditionally peaceful communities. It's probably nothing, says Dr. Akande to Chief Inspector Wexford, who gets his usual chill upon hearing these words. I'm trying in vain to locate my daughter Melanie. So if this sounds interesting to you, it sounds interesting to me. It's on my TBR this month. I think I've spoken enough about books that I plan to read, because there's so many more that I plan to read. And so many more I plan to read with other people too, that I will tell you about later on. But I did want to tell you that I am going to do something in honor of Janelle, and that's her Mystery Mondays that she did every Monday, highlighting a book that she thought was worthwhile. And just for the 4 weeks, I'm going to do a Mystery Monday with a book that I think is special enough to be mentioned on my channel. By the way, I'm Marilyn. Some people call me Maya. Some people call me the Baby Boomer Booktuber. And please subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell, and please comment if you found any of these books interesting and exciting. I'm sorry if I went on blabbering too much. Sometimes when you're greedy for books like I am, we can go on and on and on talking about books, especially for me when it comes to mysteries. I hope you will participate in March Mystery Madness. At least you don't have to do the bingo card. Wasn't intending to even do one of the bingo cards, but if you read one mystery this month, you've participated, and you might enjoy it, and you might want to read more. There's so many different kinds of mysteries: cozy, psychological, amateur sleuths, detective fiction, even some thrillers. I'm not a big lover of the deep thrillers. I like a psychological mystery, which is sort of on the borderline between a thriller and a mystery. But I don't like to get into the real thrillery books. Sometimes I do, but not often. And you'll find something that you like. I'm sure you will. So until my next video, which will be Monday Mysteries, I will thank you so much for watching, and please excuse if my video is a little all over the place this time, but I want to wish you all a wonderful week and a weekend, and of course, plenty of aloha.